Today's term of the day is abandonment. Make sure he didn't go out for milk. Oh look, another BFDI video. Let's hope I can make it out of those trenches eventually. Guys, please don't call me no OSC YouTuber. Nobody takes me seriously. If you don't know what BFDI is, I made a pretty cohesive summary of it in my last video, so go ahead and give it a quick watch. Anyway, what makes BFDI so engaging for some viewers and keeps the franchise's active viewer base so enticed with the show? Well, it's a number of things, including blah 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 blah, but one specific element of the show has been gradually growing more notoriety over the years, and has even been subject to more scrutiny, for better or for worse. The show in its modern era has had a period of events that actually make it melodramatic, and not really as episodic as it used to be. And trust me, there is some hot takes in store for you around this. These have been dubbed arcs, and that term has been watered down so much lately, because it seems like almost anything in the show nowadays could be an arc. There's also a lot of positives to arcs. These elements give the show actual stakes and development that make it more engaging for the same or a new audience. But then again, the show can also deviate from its initial tone and premise. So, let's go over BFDI and arcs. But first, what is an arc? Alright, an arc, or character arc, is, and I quote, a strand of narrative dealing with a change and development in the personality of an individual character over the course of a story. If a story has a character arc, the character begins as a one sort of person and gradually transforms into a different sort of person in response to changing development. The story has just changed. Alright, you get the point. With all that out of the way, let's go over and summarize some moments of the show that the community has dubbed as arcs, and my personal thoughts and opinions on them. Late BFDI, Fiery and Leafy the good friends, good chums, good old pals. And after Fiery won Dream Island, he had the option to let anybody he wanted in or restrict anybody he wanted out. In the end, he let everybody in, including his own arch nemesis, but not Leafy. Because she tried to leap a Ferris wheel he built for her, and he added a lava fall because he's fire, so she died. In retaliation, Leafy stole Dream Island from Fiery, which made everyone literally want to fucking kill her. And then Fiery rescues her, and he says that he only cares about her and their friendship together. And boy, did that moment begin some huge shipping culture around those two.
There is nothing disgusting about
ships in BFDI.
Drake, put that book down.
Anyway, fast forward to BFDIA, and Fiery is actively avoiding Leafy because she is public enemy number one.
Hey, Fiery.
Who are you?
I'm Leafy. Don't you remember?
No.
And he continues avoiding her until BFB, where Fiery finally tells her why he's been avoiding her, even though he literally could have told her years ago. Anyway, they start beefing for like 10 episodes in the pettiest way imaginable, and I really don't want to get into detail about it because I honestly do not care about Fiery and Leafy. But in post-split,
Sorry, Mommy, did I do a no-no again?
In post-split, they finally make up and ride off into the sunset after the season ends. This one isn't good. It pretty much derailed any liking I had for either of these characters because it just made them both awful people for something so surface level and goofy. In post-split, the host 4 is upset because his best buddy X isn't here to co-host with him. Then he has the cast kidnap him, and they're both happy to see each other. And then 4, for the rest of the season, tries to change his ways for X. Yeah, that's literally it. This kind of ruined 4 for me. He used to be a sadistic host who pretty much gave zero shits about anything or anyone, which is pretty cool to see. Then he just became someone who just whines about anything not going his way. Flower becomes a better person. Yeah, they were kind of forcing this one, and that kind of ties into the general vibe of post-split, with everything feeling forced and in your face.
Go, go, go! You really went for that one, huh?
Yes!
Oh man. Alright, so in BFB2, the challenge is to free 8 competitors from Jawbreakers, and the losing team gives up before they can free Taco from it, in which Book comes to the realization that Taco abandoned them.
Hey, Icy, We died 2 episodes ago too, but we were recovered.
Yeah?
That means Taco was probably recovered too, and is still alive.
That's right.
So the reason she's not here
Is that I'm still trapped in this jawbreaker?
is that she abandoned us.
Book. No.
She must have gotten fed up with how slow our team chased the basket and went rogue. And oh, the betrayal!
No, Book, that's not true. I'm right here. I'm right here.
And for the next like 12 episodes, Book is absolutely pissed at the fact that Taco quote unquote abandoned her and the team, and just begins a tirade of being angry and bitter every time Taco exists. And then Book gets a pep talk that kind of makes no sense in retrospect, and they make up and say goodbye after the split. It literally ends like that. Alright, so I'm almost certain this started out as like a running gag. Like it was kind of funny for the first couple episodes, and it was portrayed that way.
I gotta go.
Oh great, Taco left us again.
What else is new?
Then later on, it was made into an actual melodramatic storyline. And oh man, did it suck some ass. I think a major reason why this fumbled so hard is because A, there was no reason for it to exist, and B, there was no setup to it. I swear, it started out as a joke. The fact that this ends so unsatisfyingly and abruptly and they just start getting along after years of emotional distress just tells me that the writers themselves thought this went on too long and just went, alright, nah, cut this shit off, man. Alright, a rare example of post-split being kinda good, and it's an arc of all things. Blocky and Woody have some history. Blocky being physically abusive and Woody being a little bit. In post-split, Blocky actually learns the concept of human emotion, and Woody decides that being scared of literally everything isn't a healthy lifestyle. But seriously, Blocky over time growing more sensitive and friendly to Woody, and Woody himself becoming more confident with himself, felt pretty natural, and it was really cool for them to get along and grow an actual friendship. Also, Taco was there nagging Blocky like she was his mom, and it's God damn, Taco, what happened to you? Clock being obsessed with Loser back in BFB, and Winner and Loser having used to be a duo, it causes Clock to get hyper obsessed with Winner, and it makes Winner extremely uncomfortable. Clock realizes this, but before he can do anything to salvage his relationship with Winner, he's eliminated. But luckily, 2 gives Clock a second chance to apologize to Winner, but Winner wants nothing to do with him. Eventually, Winner finds out that 2 is still behind Clock being here, and he gets reasonably pissed off, and it's really cool to see this scene go down. The arc ends in Winner's dream, explaining why them and Loser aren't a duo anymore, because they wanted to stay humble for their friends. While Loser went Hollywood, Winner wasn't comfortable with the commercialization and obsessive fame they got. Clock was a reminder of the past they wanted to leave. Clock finally gets his chance to apologize to Winner, and explains the reason why he was so obsessed with them. It was because he didn't want them to be forgotten, like he was in the previous season, where he was killed and forgotten by his own team for an actual year. This one started off pretty rocky, with Clock being obsessed with Winner out of nowhere. It was pretty weird to see, but Sam Thornberry managed to completely 180 this into a pretty well explained and in-depth arc, and it just goes to show how much of a good writer he is and how much he's grown over time. And also, how much he's been taken for granted. Robot Flower wants to be less of a robot, so she has Basketball install files from the OG Flower into her, but Basketball accidentally installs Season 1 Flower files into her, which causes Robot Flower to become a complete menace. Although Basketball tries to get Robot Flower back to her original self, pretty much nobody else gives a shit.
Glue, we need some. You got any?
Kind of in a crisis, Eraser. The power flickering is frying my machines. I'm worried I messed up Robot Flower's circuitry.
Got glue.
Did you not hear me, Eraser? If I can't fix this machine, we might have lost Robot Flower forever.
Glue.
This one's I feel like it's gone on pretty long enough, and even though it started pretty good, I don't really think I'm interested in what direction it's going for. Now, you might be thinking that a good majority of these arcs have pretty hasty setups and bad execution that eventually results in the derailment in overall writing and quality of the character for the sake of drama and stakes. And you're absolutely right. See, that's the problem with a show like Battle for Dream Island. It's inherently episodic, so arcs take a lot of coherent setup and consistent writing, and it's made even more difficult with the fact that the show is based off viewer voting. I'm just gonna say something very, very important. Recurring character interactions are not arcs. For example, Eraser and Teardrop, Puffball and Golfball. No, they interacted for a couple episodes, had some conflict, moved on. That was it. It's not an arc. Almost all of these don't even qualify as character arcs, but the word has been oversaturated lately because it's almost an expectation that there's going to be a character arc in any episode of the show. And it was really starting to show in Teapot. Teapot is an interesting case. For the first 2 episodes of the show, it was written and directed by Satomi Hinatsu and Kenzie Bryant, also known as the period where episodes came out yearly. And for the rest of the show, it was directed and written by Sam Thornbury. Alright, time for another hot take. I do not like Teapot 2.
I'ma kill him. I'ma kill him. I'ma kill that motherfucker.
It just isn't really rewatchable in my opinion. For 36 minutes, the pacing of the episode is surprisingly very slow, and focus only really goes to 2 teams. So around 14 of the 40 characters, not even that, I'd say like 8 characters get any meaningful screen time. But don't get me wrong, Teapot 2 has a lot to be praised for. The 2 and Gady talk was very human, and the dialogue in the episode in general was absolute ear candy. Amazing, top notch. But this episode probably hosts the most infamous attempts at beginning arcs. Most importantly, Pin and Coiny. Alright, so the challenge is to stack blocks as high as you can, and Coiny gets the idea to glue them together so they don't get knocked down. Then Pin gets upset because her team is quote unquote cheating, and she goes up to 2 and snitches on her own team. And the weirdest part is that 2 literally didn't care at all, and when Pin goes back to her team with their arms open for her and they try to put the incident behind them, Pin is just still pissed off. And let me tell you, this almost completely reversed the public opinion on Pin. She was a beloved character before this, and again, another arc with a bad setup and a bad execution. Alright, Teapot 3 to 6. Not much going on in terms of arcs, and I think there's a genuine excuse for it. Sam Thornbury, the new writer for the show, was picking up where someone left off, and he needed some time to get into the groove of things. But Teapot 7 and on, Sam was pumping out really well written episodes. And he's made some really satisfying arcs and character interactions like Winter and Clock, the initial beginning of Robot Flower and Basketball. He even somehow 180 Book and Pin. He salvaged what ruined and derailed their characters and used it to develop them and give them both closure. He absolutely knows what he's doing, and he's killing it. He deserves a lot of praise, especially right now with how he's been treated by the community. Alright, after all my thoughts, critiques, and criticisms of arcs and BFDI, are they necessary in the show? Sometimes, yeah, they are. We've seen a lot of examples of arcs gone bad in the show, but again, they can all be chalked down to bad setup and bad execution. But when there's an actual plan, man, is this some satisfying content, and it proves how well the show can balance comedy and level-headedness. But we as viewers shouldn't go into the show expecting an arc or dramatic storyline everywhere at any angle, because you're just setting yourself up for disappointment. BFDI, again, was never intended to be like that, so don't be like this. Yeah, so Eraser and Pen talked about sticking it up to Golfball, and
will it be an arc though?
Damn, Ice Cube finally got her revenge.
Will it be an arc though?
I can't believe my dog died, man. She's been there for me my entire life.
Will it be an arc though?
On the topic of viewership expectation, just because you don't like certain elements of an arc or an episode or something about the show doesn't give you the A-OK to begin harassing the creator. And I'm not talking about criticism, because I criticize myself all the time. What the hell is that? There's a big difference between criticism and harassment. Teapot's current writer, Sam Thornbury, had to leave the show's official Discord and take a break off social media due to increased harassment and threats. What's awful is that Sam actively interacted with the community so positively, and he encouraged feedback for all of his work. He's a really stand-up guy, and he was treated so horribly by members of the audience of the show he's writing for. Sam doesn't owe us anything, but the thing we do owe Sam is an apology. So Sam, if you're watching this, I hope you're doing better, man, and thank you for all you've done for the show, including writing the GO. Okay, it's been a while, a long while, but I'm back. I had to finish up my senior year of high school, but I graduated, so I actually have some free time now, and I swear, videos will be out way sooner.
Will it be an arc though?
No, I don't belong.